What's going on, guys? It's Kyle here, and today we're going to talk about how I manage my 85 rental units. Now, that might sound like a lot, but we'll get into the actual unit breakdown and how that all figures up. It's not as many as you think. It's a lot easier than you think. But first, if you guys don't mind, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I know that gets so monotonous hearing that from every YouTuber out there, but it actually really does make a huge difference for their channel to grow. YouTube's kind of a little side hobby of mine, but I'm trying to grow my channel, so it really does help, so I appreciate it. All right, guys, so like I said, I have 85 units right now, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my word, that's so many units. But it's not as difficult and hard as you might think. So I lost my phone here. I'll be right back. Okay, so first let's actually break down how many units I have. Excuse me. I know there's gonna be a crazy glare here, so we're gonna try this out. But okay, so I have two mobile home parks. One of them is 36 spaces. One of them is 22 spaces. That's 58 lots. So that's what I count a unit. Now, you know, if I compared 58 units in apartment units versus mobile home park units, I would say it's completely different. Mobile home park units are much easier to, you know, to handle, especially if you don't actually own the homes and you're just owning the dirt. So again, 58 units might sound like a lot, but it's really not, because all of my residents own their own homes. I don't really have to do anything but mow the grass. So super simple. We're going to break down my systems and processes, you know, further into the video. So there's those 58 units, and then I own 11 mobile homes in someone else's park, and I actually do own those homes. I don't own the land. So let's add 11 there. That's 69. Okay, and then I own a 4-unit building, which I'm house hacking, and that's what I'm filming in right now. So let's add 4. That's 73. What am I forgetting? I just bought a 12-unit. That's right. 12 units, 85. So there we go. You know, I bought and sold many properties over the years. I've had single families, I've had duplexes, I had a 3-unit, had some commercial stuff, but right now I'm sitting at 85 units. So, you know, let's talk a little bit again about, you know, the management of, you know, an apartment building versus a mobile home park. The model of investing I'm going for in mobile home parks is I only want to own the land, I don't want to own the homes, so it's actually way easier than you imagine. The way I have it set up, I have a manager in my 36 space park and my 22 space park, and then I also have a manager who lives in the mobile home park where my 11 homes sit. So that being said, really none of the tenants have my phone number personally. They only call the park manager. So they're kind of a go-between. So a lot of the little issues get figured out by the manager. So one of the biggest game changers in investing in real estate was online payments. It was a huge hassle before I had that set up, because I'm, you know, constantly collecting checks and sometimes even cash, trying to figure out whose was whose, and sometimes the checks would bounce and so forth. But now I have everything set up to where tenants just log on to an online portal, and they can pay right through there. It goes directly into my business account. So that's made things super, super easy. So my managers, again, they're really just a go-between between me and the tenants. So the tenants aren't calling me directly with issues. They first go, you know, hey, you know, Susie Joe's parking in my space, and my manager will, you know, take care of it. And if it becomes a bigger issue, he'll contact me, and then we'll go from there. But as far as how much I pay those managers, so really, you know, they're not spending much time. They're maybe spending like an hour a week or 2 hours a week on dealing with, you know, tenant issues and things like that. So really they're not paid. All they get is they get free lot rent in my park. So, you know, lot rent in my park is around $200 a month. So essentially they're making about $200 a month for their services. Okay, so as far as my 11 mobile homes, I think I already touched on it. There is a manager in that park already who manages the entire park for the owner. He also oversees my 11 park-owned homes, or the homes that I own. And so he actually is pretty handy. So he does a lot of the actual labor. So like if a new porch needs to be built or if a window needs replaced, he will actually do it, and then he will bill me for it. He'll charge me, you know, $20 an hour, $25 an hour, something like that. So that's, you know, super great. because he's on site and he can, handle things immediately, where if I had to call a contractor, it would cost double what I'm paying. So, that's super, super important to have, him right there on site. Now, I don't recommend buying mobile homes necessarily, especially if they're in someone else's park, because then you're paying lot rent and the things just break all the time. In the winter they freeze, and so they're not really a great investment. There was a strategy why I bought those 11 homes, and we'll get into that, maybe another time. Okay, now let's move on to my 12-unit apartment building. So I just bought that August 31st is when I bought it. So I am, relatively new to this apartment building, so I don't really know yet how labor intensive it's going to be. However, in the last, what is this, like month that I've owned it, not even a month, it has been like maybe one call a week. And the reason why is the last seller had already trained the tenants very well. They have a handyman who had been taking care of the building for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. And so all the tenants actually have his phone number. And so when they have any type of issue, they contact him directly. Now, he charges me $20 an hour to go fix things, which is still, a huge steal compared to paying like a general contractor, going over there and fixing little stuff. So on the 12 unit, when the tenants are having an issue, they'll just call him. If it's something big, he'll call me and say, "Hey Kyle, the toilet needs replaced in unit 9. Do you want me to go ahead and do it?" And another way to save time and hassle is I set up a account for him at a local hardware store, so he can go there and he can buy anything he needs and just charge it straight to that account. At the end of that month, all of those all the expenses come directly to my email, and I'm able to send them to my bookkeeper, and she's able to expense them and put them into my property management software. So that brings up a good point. Let's talk about property management software. So I originally started with Buildium. It's a great online software that you can manage your rentals. The tenants can pay online. It's got an accounting software built into it. You can keep track of their leases. You can upload photos of the units. They can even request like service, service calls. If something's going on, they can actually request that someone comes and fixes it in the website. So it's really great. However, it just wasn't quite what I needed for mobile home parks. And as you guys know, I'm starting to really focus on mobile home parks. So I actually switched to a software called Rent Manager. Now, if you are not gonna get into mobile home parks pretty much full time, I would not probably suggest Rent Manager. It's extremely robust, and it's also like it's stuck back in the early 90s or something. The interface is super old and it's not, really pretty. So there's lots of property management software out there like Buildium, Appfolio. I'm forgetting some of the names, but there's even free versions. So just Google property management software. Okay, so last but not least, we got the 4 unit. I think that's last but not least. We talked about the 2 mobile home parks. I've got managers in both of those. My 11 homes, I got a manager in that park. The 12 unit, there's a handyman who takes all the calls and then routes them to me. I think that leaves, the 4 unit really. So, the 4 unit, I live here. It's a house and it has 3 units attached in the back. I've got really fantastic tenants there. They're some of the best tenants I've ever had. Super quiet, very professional. I have had someone in here in the past who I had to, when I first bought the place, I had to ask her to leave. It just wasn't going very well. But really, as far as calls, over there in the 3 unit, maybe one time every other month or something like that. They'll have a question or something, but really no major issues. Part of that is because I did renovate the units and they're in pretty good shape, so not a ton of issues there. But I guess just the overall idea or reason why I'm making this video is I want to talk about the time I have invested in managing my rental units. And I just wanted to make the point that although I have 85 units and it sounds like a ton, it's really not that big of a deal. I could probably get away with spending maybe 2 to 3 hours a week managing it. And one more thing I got to add. So, this is a huge help in burden off my back. So actually my mom, I have started to train her to become my property, or my bookkeeper, I guess you should say. So she is the one who goes into Rent Manager, and she, looks at my credit card bill and figures out like that was for that property, and she, inputs it all in there. So she is my bookkeeper. She does it pretty much full time. I pay her, a little bit every month. I probably shouldn't say how much I pay her. I probably should pay her more, but she's my mom, so she helps me out. But, I would highly suggest if you decide to, scale up your own business and you're going to self-manage, that's probably one of the first things that you should try to hire out is your bookkeeping, because it's just a time suck. There's lots of detail work. And if you're like me, I hate details and I'm more of a big picture guy. So I hire that out. So if you guys are thinking about getting into real estate, I would highly suggest you start small. There's guys like Grant Cardone who are like, don't buy a house, don't buy small stuff, jump right into big multifamily. Well, he's a syndicator and he makes money when you invest with him. So, nothing against syndicating at all. But I think that there's a time and place for it. And I think that if you are young, you're 18, 19, 20, 25, and you just want to get started, I would suggest you either go buy, a duplex, a 4-unit, you can live in it, you can house hack it. And you're probably not going to spend a ton of time managing it. It might sound overwhelming, but hey, you know what? Money solves pretty much every problem as far as in real estate investing. So if you get a call in the middle of the night that says, hey, my plumbing's not working, well, you're not a plumber, so jump on the phone, call a plumber, and you're gonna pay a service fee and all that, but it's worth it. That's one thing that I will tell you guys, if you're getting into real estate, don't try to do everything yourself. You've got to hire it out, because your time is best spent either at your day job where you're making, X amount per hour, or it's out finding more deals. That's something that I've gotten stuck in the past is I try to do everything myself. Like I've got new mailboxes going in and over at my mobile home park, and I'm actually probably gonna go dig the post holes myself, build the thing and put the mailboxes on there because I'm getting fed up with my contractor. So don't try to do everything yourself, guys. Systematize, make processes, try to make everything automated if you can, have your tenants pay online, and it's really not gonna be that big of a deal. So appreciate you guys watching the video. If you guys enjoyed it, obviously hit the like button, subscribe, you know the drill. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.